Hey guys, welcome back. It's grimreaper connect you for another video for Raidshadowlegends. Hopefully you're doing well and hopefully you're looking after yourself and having a positive start. We're back on my account today. We're going to be doing a champion showcase, and I wanted to do a champion covering her for a while. And so I'm going to show you how to build her and everything for right now. Right now she's in a faction war build. I don't even know if she's out and about yet, but I've been thinking about building her for my account for like 3v3 siege live arena and whatnot. She recently had a buff, and if you guys was watching the video for the content creators challenges, if you haven't, I would definitely say go check it out. It was about all the buff champions, and we could only use buff champions from a certain patch. And I wanted to do a video on her before this, and a lot of content creators did use her. It's kind of interesting to see a lot of their builds on this champion. Now, I think this champion has the same potential as a Queen Ancora, so if you have her, I feel like she's a good champion. And I've seen her popping up in live arena every now and again since her buff, probably like every 2 or 3 days. I think she recently popped up in one of my videos. And we're talking about the one and only RAGLIN. Now, there isn't a lot of content out on RAGLIN right now, as far as I'm aware of, or any champion showcases from her. I've always been using her in Faction Wars since Faction Wars Hard came out, because of 6-star blessing, etc. And she was in my team clearing 21 before this come out. So she's a goddess in that aspect, and I'm not really going to do a showcase on her in that area because we've already done the video for 21, and you should definitely go check it out. But she just definitely got a lot stronger. She is quite a menace champion to face now, so we're going to rebuild her and we're going to go over a lot of things for her. So today we're going to use my best gear, and then I'm actually saving up Sand Devil oil and dust to rebuild her on my account, as well as glyphs. So we're going to get the optimizer up once it's ready and see what's what there to see if it'll work. Let's see. Okay, so we're logging in and we're going to rebuild it together, right? I know you guys like to see that and see my thinking. There is probably like 5 good ways of building her, which we'll talk about in today's video, going through the optimizer with you guys. So let's go ahead and rebuild her. We will reset her blessing, etc. as well. So let's go ahead for RAGLIN. Don't mind that, just been doing Hive Lord. I've just been doing some Faction Wars takeovers just before this. So we're going to reset the optimizer, and then we'll start off from scratch. Okay, so it's blank page here, and we're going to rebuild her and then showcase her in arena. I'm not unfortunately very high in the arena, but you could definitely take her up for high in arena. I think she's very, very good as a go second champion. Now, she's very similar to Ancora. Anyway, let's go into this. So we're going to build a survivability build, and we're going to build her. There's a few ways of building her. Now let's talk about sets. I think sets is really, really important, and if we have her, we'll get straight into it. So I think there's 5 ways of building her for sure. Now she's immune to lockout, etc. So I think with the most basic build, I think which would be very, very good on her, would be pretty simple, going with stone skin build as a 6-piece set. I think that this isn't her strongest build, but you could go this with tanky or with high resistance, as much speed as possible, around about 300 minimum. If you can go to 320 to 350, that would be better. And then you can also, if you can add some reaction to that, be much better. And you can use Aspect of Seeroth or One of Submission if you're using high resistance, and then with Lightning Cage Blessing with the stone skin. I think that's one way of building her. I think that another way of building her is coming in with 4-piece stone skin and with bolster as well. I think that this is another good way of building her. So get bolster and 4-piece stone skin. So this will adapt a bit more protection to her against champions that ignore shield, but also adds a lot of chemistry with the bolster as well, and then aiming for like survivability with this, and then one of submission as to relic, so HP along here, and then defense and HP on the gloves, etc., which would be a good way to go. So for example, We'll go put it through the optimizer, say 320 speed. We would want lightning cage to protect the stone skin piece because it could be quite important. So we've got the resistance, etc. here. And then on the optimizer, you would select these. So you'd go this build, you'd go accuracy, sorry, HP, defense. You're also going to come in HP or defense. And then here, come in HP and defense. On the boots, we come in with speed, personally. And then we're going to come in with HP and defense. You can also pick HP and defense here as well if you wanted. This might be a bit cheaper for the oil dust. And then this as well, you're going to come in here. And then you'll look for the perfect stats. So if she's your only one of your revivers, you can definitely go ahead and put your strongest gear on her and to see what stats we can get. Now we're just going to see what stats we can get here to see what we can do. So you can see here we've got high HP and defense. Obviously the masteries on this side for tanky build is not great. You don't want to run in unshakable, etc. for the masteries if you wanted tanky build. So what we'll do for here is we'll do a masteries for this on here as well. So we'll come in with this. I do like blast proof, I think it's great, etc. And we can come in with this as well. And then she does lots of healing. So we probably will take Law Steel, lasting gifts, not really needed on her. You can come in with this healing one as well for extra heals. Merciless, Spirit Haste could be quite useful. And then you can go Elixir, extra defense, or which would probably be the better way is to come in with the Tiny Intervention just so you can get a bit of extra turn meter here as well. And then there isn't really anything else you could take, maybe Selfless Defense or the A1 to see if you can counterattack to get some extra turn meter is quite useful as well. So these are the few ways you can go ahead and use her. So you'll see here we're tanky, good defense, good HP. I would like a bit more HP. Defense is really solid and it's a pretty solid set overall. And you can see here this is what the optimizer is throwing out. That ring is absolutely diabolical. That is the fourth way of building her, the fourth best build I think that is available for her. I think that the next one could be a interesting one, but I think that the one would be is Merciless, not Merciless, sorry, is Feraled. So I think a 4-piece Feraled and a 4-piece Stone Skin, a tanky, is also quite strong as well, because I think that this would add a bit of protection against bombs and burns like Ashnar and Gizmak, which would be really strong and offer you something so she could come in and cleanse the whole team as well as bring in increased accuracy and defense. The Stone Skin obviously would protect her against other mechanics, and then you'll take Lightning Cage to protect the Feraled and Stone Skin to add more RNG. And then if you wasn't building high resistance, you're going tanky with this, then you would use one off submission as the relic as well, just to reflect back. And if you're going high resistance, then you could swap in a aspect of Siroth, which would work against people who ignores Stone Skin, like champions like He-Man, etc. Won't work against Mezamal, for example, because Mezamal is a double hitter, right? So you should proc it, but then she'll get a kill. So that would be one thing. And then I guess the other way would be high resistance. I think high resistance is the strongest way of building her. Though I did have another set on my head, but I can't remember which one it was. So it will probably come back to me in the video at some point, but there was one more build I wanted to showcase as well. So for today's showcase, for my champion showcase, we're going to go 6-piece Stone Skin, but we're going to go high resistance. I think the high resistance is her best bet. So let's go ahead and change her masteries. So we should be able to pop in and just spend some gems. And what I would take for high resistance. So first of all, I would come in with the heal factors. I think healing is going to be super important. She has a crazy heal on the A2, so I think we'll take rapid response because she is putting up increased accuracy and increased attack. We've got Merciless Haste here, which is quite good for the healing on the A2. Then we got Law Steel for extra stats for the resistance side. And then we have Merciless Aid again for more healing. And then I would come in with Spirit Haste, which would be probably the way that we'll take here. And then on this side, we'll take the resistance. So I want to increase the healing and shields. I do like Blast Proof as a AoE. Now we could also take, for example, here we've got 3. So I do like Resurgent, and I don't think Resurgent's probably the best one, to be honest. Heal this champion when they kill an enemy, which is not good. Heal this champion of the 6% of the max HP. Happens once per turn. That could be an option. Okay, I think for here we'll take this. And then we will take Delay Death. I'm a big fan of Delay Death. We would also take Retribution, and then we'll take Unshakable. And then here we will take Cycle of Violence as well, which could be quite good as well. So I think that this is the way to go. And then for here we can take Polymorph if we wanted to, because Polymorph would give us the blessing. We can also potentially put some Blood Shield on her and get some emergency heal. Could be an interesting option as well. Lightning Cage is probably what most of you guys should take. I'm not going to take Lightning Cage because of high resistance. Build a high resistance. Actually, I guess we will take Lightning Cage because against mythical champions, which is something we should take into consideration, that could still strip her. Life Harvest could be an interesting choice as well. Extra 10 meter would be cool. Polymorph, personally for me, Polymorph would be a good blessing for her at 6-star. But personally for me, I don't run Polymorph in any of my champions because it's just a toss-up between R and G, etc. Then here we're going to come in with a relic. So there is a few relics that you could run, like one is submissive. Unfortunately, these ones we will be using in other areas. For today's one, we're going to take Duchess's Aspect of Seraph, because I want basically add this in case anyone's trying to ignore her stone skin, like He-Man, etc. For me, this is the way to go. You could also go one submissive. You can also go Infernal Baroness for the HP. Magma Shield could be quite good on her if you do have access to that. Delay Death could be an interesting one with Lasting Death Amulet. There is a few options as well. This one would be really good. I've kind of got plans to put this on another champion, which will be more impactful to my roster than Raglin overall. So let me go ahead and go and see how we're going to build on Optimizer. So we're going to refresh build. We want 6p stone skin. We want to add some reaction as well, or we could add something a bit different. We don't need reaction because I have Aspect Seraph. So we are going to type in around about, ideally you want 900 accuracy. I think we can get 900 accuracy for today's video. So here we need to change the stats there for resistance. Actually, we could just go ahead. I think we've got 900 resistance, so we can do resistance here, resistance there. Just copy everything else, but I can copy the build either way. There we are, the really recent masteries. Law still does bring in quite a bit of that, so that's one thing you have to take into consideration. We did do this. We didn't actually add any glyphs, so we can go ahead and add for speed. And we can also go ahead and add 10 on there, and then 10 there, and 10 there as well. Now she's immune to lockout, so the reason why I would build resistance is because of champions like Armads, Star Sage, and etc. could be a issue for her still, especially with blocked out skills. For example, Commodus has got a blocked out skill on her. It doesn't seem like we can get 900 resistance. I was looking the other day, we were struggling with that at about 300. I think we got about 920. So we'll try and change this here to 900. I haven't got any dust right now to use. I've only got like 50 dust, so it's like always waiting. It's cooking. Let me try something a bit different. Let's go like 880, for example. So I'm going to let this cook for a build, then we'll come back and showcase the build, showing you how I'd build her on an optimizer, the masteries I'd use, and then we'll do some showcase on the team whilst this is cooking and trying to find me a build. Okay then, so we're up in the arena and we're going to build our team. So I want to use free-to-play champions only. So this is what we'll come in with. We'll come in with the UDK. We'll come in with her in the lead because of the Sungwon, with the increased defense, sorry. We'll drop in Sungwon because why not? The guy is pretty OP still. And then we'll come in with the Empress as well, because I know he's quite good as a free-to-play champion. So we'll take on a team like this, and we'll see what we can do with this. Now, I did build up the resistance, etc. in the end. That's why I was taking a bit of time. I guess because we're still looking for so many high stats. We'll show the build end of this overall. So this is our team. Just straight up stone skin team, obviously. Pretty basic. He's obviously got a very old school build on his champion. Obviously, we don't need to revive because someone will do his shenanigans, but we'll play increase attack, which doesn't really do anything. And obviously, we'll wait for her to come alive, do his shenanigans. We'll go ahead and go like this. We've got a Swift Parry, which is pretty interesting on him. Across the board, I feel like this guy was in the meta 3 years ago. We'll go ahead and bring Sungwon back anyway. He gets a full 10 meter boost. And then we can just ping her for the sake of it. So that's one way of making it work. We can also come in with He-Man. We have Fabian, which can't do anything. She's immune to lockout. So she's really good against that type of team. So these three for me would be the base of a team for like a free-to-play if you're lucky enough to pull Raglin. Raglin's a really old school champion that's been around in this game a very long time. So you could use other champions like He-Man, for example, won't be a smart choice to do against this. You could also bring in someone like Donnie, for example, which a lot of us have. I'm trying to find a free-to-play champion, but I think Empress is the first thing that comes to my mind when I think free-to-play, because he's probably the easiest mythical to get, and he does fit the builds because he can also flip against mythicals, which is not so much of a problem overall. So Empress is the fastest. We'll come in and strip the stone skin. We'll play our increase attack. He's going to get locked out, which is fine. We'll ping with an A1. We'll come in with that. We come through here. Obviously, He-Man can't do too much. This is why I think like a bolster set could be quite useful for this team. Just add a bit more Vavavoom. Again, very easily done. Let's attack a team with some mythicals and let's spice it up a little bit. So I don't feel like we need to add anything here. Obviously, my Empress and Sungwon UDK, they're very well built. I've done videos on the UDK and Sungwon a few weeks ago as like a really good duo. I kind of threw these three in one of the live arena fights like a few weeks ago, outside seasons. And I honestly like this energy. That's why I've kind of decided to stick with them in the video. And also there was a promo code for UDK recently for new players as well, which is pretty nice to see. He's obviously got pretty bad builds here. I should come in with A3 to see if we can play the block damage, which is cool. Obviously we got the UDK to counter Sigford. And then we can go ahead and clean up here as well. So let's see her more in glory. Let's go against this Alice. Let's drop the Empress and let's just stick with the 3. We do need a damage dealer, obviously, to showcase. We're going up against Alice. Alice doesn't lock us out again because she's immune. So we do have freeze as well. So we can go ahead and come in with this. It's a typical speed team, so it's very squishy. Once they've done their shenanigans, they can't really do any more than what they're doing. We're obviously facing a UDK as well. So we'll take out Arbiter, for example. A UDK will stick with us to be very mighty. We can play shields with the UDK, which is great. I guess Lightning Cage does protect that as well. We're waiting for their shenanigans. He's going to do the reset, etc. And then we just wait for this. So the cleanse is not ready at the moment. So you can see here, we can play the reset, which again, someone doesn't need to be revived really, but it is nice to have that option of being able to reset him. I think a reset with the revive, even if it's just single, is super strong. I'm gonna save the reset here, the cleanse, because we are facing a lot of damage right now. So you can see there he's freezed me again. So we're going to go ahead and cleanse me. I think it's because he's a skinwalker. And then we're going to come in with the extra surplus damage. So that's quite useful. And seeing a Songwon in action for sure. Let's see what else we can do to take on. There isn't many strong teams down here. Obviously, if there's a speed team, you can throw in like a Calvalax or a Hegemon in this style of teams as well for like classic and 3 vs 3. We do have some options here with the Donny, so let's take on the Turtles. There's no Leo here, so it's not too bad. Obviously not fully maxed out one of the Turtles, I think it was Donny. It's kind of nice to go against them anyway. So they'll do their stuff. Obviously we'll bring someone back. We'll wait for the turn. We hit Arbiter. Can't take Arbiter out because of the passive actually from the Turtle, which is a good thing to remember, which was Donny's passive. Play some shields. We're aiming for Mikey because he's got the passive. He was able to be successful against that. That's a great showcase for Mikey, right? To see him doing some shenanigans here. Can you do the same again? No, we can't. Okay. That passive is going to be a little bit annoying for some people. We have a Duchess here, which could be quite something to do. I do think she's better than Duchess now in the arena. Personally, myself, I guess. Like, the only reason I use Duchess myself is generally just for the area of for the what's it called? The full the Valkanus team. That's it, for Valkanus. That's the only reason why I use my Duchess still. So we're going in here with some high meta champions like Marius, etc. We got Lightning Cage to counter the Empress, which is quite good. We don't actually need to revive here. We can just let them burn through their stone skin, etc. We don't have to worry about getting many poisons on us as well, because we ain't going to get tons of poisons on us. Now we save the cleanse for Marius, right? If Marius comes in and does his shenanigans. So again, we've got some crazy champions here. There isn't many meta champions here, to be honest. So we can go ahead and cleanse off that wand. I think we will die to the poisons though. Let's see. Okay, there was a reason why we didn't die to it now. Wrong blessing. Okay, that kind of says it all. Wrong blessing is now. Okay, so we got rid of the Marius, which was what we wanted to do. We can go ahead and reset the E2 because that's his money making skill. He's going to go down again because of this, but it's going to be fine. She was quite successful at landing the defense down, which is interesting. Okay, let's play the shields to heal. Looks like it was a 3%. Let's go that A1 again, pretty nicely. Let's go ahead and take on some Ahmad's teams, etc. Let's see if we can find some Ahmad's teams, which is the reason why I wanted to do these builds. So let me go ahead and find Ahmad's team. Let's see what we can do there. Okay then, so here is the Ahmad's here. Let's take it on and see what we can do. So I found Ahmad's and Star Sage, which was perfect for what we're looking for. Now Star Sage can bring a accuracy up. This is what we want to see. Now we have the 50-50 with the Lightning Cage. Did resist the strip actually there. and everything else. Then we get polymorphed, which we resisted as well. So we can, right now we can cleanse. Okay. So we can see there we do get the shenanigans coming in. We are taking a bit of a battering right now, but that's fine. We're still resisting. See, drops for 10 meter. They're very, very fast, and that's what we expect in the speed team. And now we can do our va-va-voom. Someone, again, take them out. The increased attack is just so good there for him, which is really, really strong. And let's see, for example, Catrixia doesn't actually do anything against us, nor does this here because of the shenanigans. Her passive is immune to lockout, which is, again, amazing. So get cooldown increase effects and blocked out the skills, which again is amazing. So the other champions obviously are still going to get locked out. Maybe UDK can resist depending on that. So we don't need resistance to do that again. So I feel like you don't need the resistance like crazy much. But like for me, what I want to use her in, then I will want the resistance for sure. We'll go ahead, we take a bit of a battering. We're not gonna do anything. We're just gonna A1 to get some 10 meter boost for our champions, which is a bonus for our champions. We're gonna come in. You're gonna do this, and then you're gonna do this. And then we're being able to be quite successful there. Again, we can face the Marius here. Another speed team that can be quite an issue is the Marius and the Fabian effects, right? So we obviously have the free mythical, which is great against Fabian. We have the Songwon, the UDK. The UDK gets resists the Fabian. And we do lose our stone skin, unfortunately. Now, the Songwon will self-revive. We can come in, revive Empress with full 10 meter. Which is great. We have the UDK to block the passive there. Now we might get enfeebled, which we do, but we can counter the enfeeble and then go like this, right? So Empress is a super strong champion, don't get me wrong. He's a super strong champion, and if you are going to build Empress in this starter team, make sure you use a Lightning Cage to protect that stone skin against these two as a shenanigans there. So you can see it is very strong. Again, Empress is a little bit RNG because Empress can strip her stone skin off depending on the resistance, which would leave you vulnerable. And that's why Lightning Cage is such a strong blessing, because Lightning Cage and Weak Hits are the only two things that can counter the Empress's strip ability. It's not so much a strip, it's more like a swap ability. So you can see here we were really unlucky. So he's done his fair share of damage to me. We're going to go ahead and play the revive. Now, if the Queen and Cora is here, we would have set off the shenanigans there. I'm going to try and do this. If we're successful. Then we'll try here. And now we do this again. We got a little bit lucky with that fear. But again, you can see in live arena, this could be an issue. Yeah, she got killed, but she got a bit lucky with the Lightning Cage. She had the RNG check on the side. Again, another difficult team down here with Alice and Ahmad. So you have double CC. And the whole point is to stop Ahmad stealing your 10 meter, stop him from trying to stun you, sheep you like this, for example. You had a resistance gemstone coming up here. Now our Ahmad has, our RAGLIN has 990 resistance against him, so that was for sure a 3% there. Because we've got the two gemstones, right, at additional 30 etc. gemstones. So that's quite good there as well. So I think we've done enough for the teams. I think we've kind of showcased it very well. So let me show you the build overall, showing you how to build on the optimizer. So the rest of the champions I will leave on the screen just quickly so you can kind of go ahead and copy and whatever. And then for me, this is the way to go for Raglin. So for resistance, we have 919 resistance, good defense, good HP, which is the main three you want to focus on. Good speed. I would like to see speed a bit more in the future, like 320 to 350. We pretty much maxed out on resistance where we could. A bit more HP there, so defense would be amazing. Aspect Surf went to level 12 in the end, and then these are the 2 gemstones that you can add to add in another 30 resistance against Armads, which is the main reason for building on her against high resistance. Armads is still a very common champion to be picked. Obviously you've got bomb champions as well that should be very good at this type of build as well, and then these are the masteries. So that is it for Raglin Showcase. I think she's still a great champion, and I think she is probably one of the best legendaries for Go Second teams right now, other than like the big ones like Marishka, etc. Obviously, they're in a whole different league, but I think that she is in the same league as Ancora, and I'd say Ancora and her in a higher league than Duchess. But let me know down in the comments about that. Obviously, I'm a big Duchess fan, so it's hard for me to admit that. Anyway, guys, that is it for today's video. As usual, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I've been Grim. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Peace.